Hi, Dad. It's lonely up here, floating far above the earth. I almost miss it, even with my life down there. At least here I have food, shelter. I miss you, Dad. I wish you were still here. Things would have been so much better if it weren't for the accident. And I know Uncle Thomas tried his best, I know. It's not his fault either, but he didn't last long. I'm sorry, Dad. I know you taught me differently, but there was nothing I could do.
So I'm on my way to speak with the constructors of the starship. Maybe they have a clue as to what went on. Some think it may have been a mechanical issue, but hopefully the constructors can offer some insight into this. I'm parked in front of a big white building. Giant glass windows from floor to ceiling cover the side. Space Authority Agency is printed on the giant sign.
Name?
Miriam Silas. I have an appointment with Dr. Jake Marsh.
I'll take you there.
Oh, there's no need.
It's protocol now. So you're the one looking for the Athena?
Yes, I'm looking for what happened to it.
Oh, you're brave to do that.
Why do you say that?
Something bad happened, something that shouldn't be tampered with. I know that much. Some things are better left unknown. It'll be easier that way, to the families, to you, to us all. Some things are just better left in the darkness.
That's what I have to find out, for the sake of everyone who was on board the Athena and for those that they left behind.
Discovery is dangerous. We've learned that much with the Athena.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, here you go.
Wait.
Well, that was strange. Okay, here we go.
Come in.
Hi, Dr. Marsh. I'm Miriam Silas. You answered my email about an interview?
Ah, Miriam. Yes, I remember. Take a seat.
So, you were one of the project managers for the Athena?
I oversaw the building of it.
Could you tell me more about it?
Well, I was hired to build a spaceship, one that would be suitable for extended time in space. It had to be big, housing around 400 people in space. It was the biggest project we had ever attempted. Solid titanium on the outside, as thick as a submarine window, giant engines and fuel tanks as big as this room. Shuttles were supposed to fly back and forth to deliver food and supplies.
But the last time, after the distress call, they found nothing. No trace of the Athena or any of the passengers on board.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what happened to it?
Your guess is as good as mine.
The starship itself was structurally sound, wasn't it?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay, you don't think that it was some sort of Titanic-ish event? That something could have hit and destroyed it?
Oh, it could have been, but the trackers showed it in the same place before it suddenly disappeared, and the shuttle found nothing. No trace of it at all. If it had been hit, they would have found the wreckage.
Did you notice anything off about the tracker signals before the disappearance?
Well, some minor disturbance signals, but that's normal considering the amount of people on board. Somebody could have touched the wrong part of the starship and messed slightly with the tracker. There wasn't anything highly unusual, if that's what you mean.
Okay. Is there anything else you can tell me?
I'm afraid not. The Athena is as much of a mystery to you as it is to me.
What about the ground control? Your department was in charge of the staffing. Why wasn't anyone there at the time of the distress signal?
I don't know. As I said, the Athena is a mystery to us all.
But you must have some recordings of what happened.
Miriam, why are you so interested in finding out about the Athena?
Because I want to know what happened, because the families deserve an answer.
If you were to find out what happened to the Athena, I hope you are careful. What happened on there must have been dangerous. For an entire starship to disappear without a trace, I hope you know what you're getting at.
I hope so too.
I'm back in my office. My interview with Dr. Marsh didn't give me any more insight into the disappearance, but at least I know it was unlikely a mechanical or structural issue. Wait, no, that can't be right. Wait, they were fine an hour ago. I just got an alert that Dr. Marsh and his guard were just found dead in Marsh's office. They're dead. Suicide, apparently.
I thought you might need this.
What are those?
The missing tapes.
Missing tapes?
You know, the ones from the Athena. I thought you might like to see them.
Where did these come from? They aren't cataloged. The only tapes from the Athena are the ones that I have. What are these and where did they come from?
Strange. Well, I'd look at them if I were you.
I guess I will.
No, Z, come on!
Recordings from the tapes Joe gave me. The missing tapes. Something feels off about this. Anyways, here the recordings change. Around this time, we know that something went wrong with the ship. Something terribly wrong. And I know what now.
Come on,
From here, I've tried to organize it and fit the pieces back in. Some of it Sadie recorded during the events. In other parts of it, she tries to explain what happened.
Okay, it's Sadie here. I'm the only one left alive. I'm recording this because you need to know what happened aboard the ship. You have to stop them before it's too late. The light, it's the only way to stop them. You need to get to the light. It started with the urn. Paul had brought it in, having found it on one of his repair trips outside the walls of the Athena. It was a normal-looking thing made of dusty-colored stone. Spirals were carved along the sides, crisscrossing lines that made me dizzy if I looked at them for too long. I traced my fingers along the sides, but it gave me an uneasy feeling, so I stopped after a while.
It just floated by?
I was outside the Athena, checking up on one of the windows. Someone said that they thought there was a leak and we can't afford to lose oxygen. The urn just floated past me, and I grabbed it thinking it was one of the repair tools. But no, it was this.
What do you think it is?
Beats me. Looks like an urn of some sort.
An urn? What?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Can we open it? Just to see what's inside?
We could try. It's sealed pretty tightly. I tried earlier.
He tried. That was the first mistake. Paul reached for the toolbox, but there must have been a piece of glass or something sharp because it cut through his palm. He clutched his hand, blood blooming from the fresh cut.
What is it?
I must have scraped my hand on the handle of the toolbox.
That looks bad. You should get down to the sick bay.
I will. Here, I'll take the urn down to the chief officer. He'll know what to do.
Zara handed the urn to him. As soon as he took it, I knew that something was wrong. The bright blood from the fresh cut on Paul's hand stained the stone, turning it a scarlet as it trickled through the carvings along the side. I wanted to scream at him to drop it, but I couldn't. I was frozen in place. Paul didn't seem to be able to drop it either, wincing as if something was burning. Then, without warning, the top of the urn burst open and the lid clattered to the ground. What spilled out of the top wasn't exactly humanoid, but I saw the clear features of a hand with 5 fingers, and a head emerged. Someone screamed. It might have been Zara, but all I could do was stare as a shadow grew on the wall behind Paul. Paul scrambled for the lid, jamming it back onto the urn, but it was too late. I stared in horror as the shadow formed on the wall, a vaguely human figure. It had a head, a body, long legs that stretched out at odd angles, sharply angled joints. I spotted a hand with 5 fingers reaching down toward Paul, and I stared as I saw another finger, then another spreading from the shadow. Blood bloomed over Paul's shoulder as something invisible dug in. Paul went rigid, his eyes turning fully black, the irises gone. Zara moved toward him, but I tugged her back, staring in horror as Paul straightened. Then, in one motion, he smashed the urn into the ground. More shadows erupted from the smashed wreckage, spiraling upward 1, 2, 3, until I lost count. Paul let out a gurgled scream as his skin began to split. Others around him went rigid too, then began to cry out when their skin split, the soft pink muscle revealed in the glistening yellow of fat. They kept screaming, though, eyes darting around in terror as their skin slowly shrunk away, dark shadows re-emerging on the walls behind as the bodies crumpled. They glided over the walls, long bony fingers reaching toward us. Zara screamed in horror and anger, her body trembling. The room had exploded into chaos, people sprinting in every direction, screaming in horror. I couldn't move at all. All I could do was stare, frozen still as a shadowed hand reached toward me. It was Zara that brought me to the ground. I felt air rush over my head as I fell, my back colliding painfully with the ground. Zara was moving toward what was left of Paul, but I grabbed her, yanking her toward the hallway as another shadow swooped toward her. We have to get out of here!
I can't leave him, I can't.
I know, but Zara, please, we have to run.